Wallahi do Djibo, wallahi do Djibo, Allahu Akbar wahdahu la sharika lahu. Wallahi do Djibo.
At just 37 years of age, Ibrahim Traoré makes the youngest president in Africa, but with a hot plate of tragedies to deal with for him to secure total sovereignty for his nation, Burkina Faso.
We no longer do things to please someone else. We do it for our homeland. And you are committed to that. Defend your homeland.
On May 12, 2025, over 100 people were killed in Djibo, Burkina Faso, when Al-Qaeda-linked militants launched a brutal assault on military posts, administrative buildings and hospitals, with clashes raging for over 6 hours. This attack, occurring just hours after Captain Ibrahim Traoré's return from Moscow, may go down as the darkest day in his short, turbulent rule, not because of Western rhetoric or growing isolation, but because another front has opened, one bloodier and more immediate than any diplomatic clash. Yet, the African Union and African leaders remain silent. Why? From jihadist chaos to Traoré's push for sovereignty, this attack exposes Africa's divisions and the stakes for the future of Africa. Al-Qaeda-affiliated jihadists descended on Djibo, a strategic town in northern Burkina Faso, in a wave of violence lasting over 6 hours. They targeted military installations, ransacked hospitals, and even posed for photos inside government offices, leaving more than 100 people dead and a trail of looted weapons. The timing is impossible to ignore. Just hours after Traoré returned from a high-profile visit to Moscow, where he stood shoulder to shoulder with Vladimir Putin and sought deeper military cooperation, his government was blindsided. The militants, chanting war cries as gunfire echoed, ambushed the town, a place already bleeding from past jihadist ultimatums and mass killings.
Wallahi do Djibo, wallahi do Djibo, Allahu Akbar wahdahu la sharika lahu. Wallahi do Djibo, Allah fabu mu'minin Allah.
September 2023 saw residents flee after a deadly warning. By November, 40 civilians were killed in another attack. Now Djibo stands as a grim symbol of how far the chaos has spread, testing Traoré's resolve and vision. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who took power in a coup in 2022, has made Burkina Faso a battleground not only against jihadist groups but also against foreign influence, especially France. He's accused the former colonial power of exploiting Africa, manipulating public opinion and fueling instability.
Reclaim our lands, our wealth. It belongs to us. It's for us. It will benefit us and our children.
Do people know that when France was experimenting with its first atomic bomb, it was black soldiers they put next to it in the least soul radius to see the effect? He asked, urging young Africans to understand this history. His fiery speeches and sharp turn toward Moscow have turned him into both a praised figure and a target. Since his takeover, Burkina Faso has seen a surge in terror attacks, assassination attempts and failed coups. Yet, the Djibo attack feels like a turning point, coming on the heels of Russia pledging to support the training of Burkina Faso's military. Russia is one of those rare countries that has taken military equipment to give us to fight the war, Traoré had said, highlighting the significance of this partnership. But the jihadists' brazen assault tests his ability to deliver security amidst this chaos. The African Union, meant to be Africa's united voice, hasn't uttered a word about Djibo. Why? First, The AU suspended Burkina Faso after Traore's 2022 coup, alongside Mali and Niger, for violating its anti-coup policy. This limits official engagement with Traore's regime. Second, the AU relies on Western donors for 60 to 70% of its budget, making it cautious about criticizing powers like the US or France, who are active in the Sahel. Third, the AU is focused on the broader Sahel crisis. Attacks like Djibo and the August 2024 Basalogo massacre, where 150 died, keep it stretched thin. Finally, regional tensions like Burkina Faso's exit from ECOWAS make the AU wary of taking sides. But to many Africans, this silence feels like abandoning a nation fighting for survival against jihadists and for self-determination.
You will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the effect of the African Union in reality? We cannot talk about integration in the theme and not talk about the African Union. Because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see these wars that persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people.
From Nigeria's Bola Tinubu to Senegal's Bassirou Diomaye Faye, African presidents have said nothing about Djibo. Why? Geopolitically, Traore's AES leadership puts him at odds with pro-Western ECOWAS states like Ivory Coast and Ghana. Supporting him risks straining ties with the US or France, who back counter-terrorism in the Sahel. Domestically, Traore's popularity, seen in his warm reception at Ghana's January 2025 inauguration, threatens leaders facing youth frustrated with neo-colonialism. On X, Africans call leaders puppets for staying silent, with one post saying they fear Traore's courage inspiring their people. The lack of verified details about Djibo's toll also keeps leaders cautious, avoiding regional tensions. But this inaction risks alienating citizens demanding solidarity, especially as jihadists grow bolder. Djibo's attack isn't just a local tragedy, it's a geopolitical flashpoint. The US and France, through AFRICOM and Operation Bahane, have long operated in the Sahel, framing their presence as counter-terrorism support. Yet, Traore's expulsion of French troops and pivot to Russia signal a rejection of this narrative. The Djibo attack, occurring amidst Traore's efforts to reclaim sovereignty, fuels speculations of political sabotage. Pro-Traore's voices online accuse Western powers, chiefly France, of backing or benefiting from these destabilizing attacks, suggesting a covert campaign to oust the defiant leader and restore the neo-colonial order. General, we are here to tell American generals instead of making an American security report. They will lie as they usually do, Traore said, evoking historical betrayals. While these theories lack hard evidence, in a region where coups, propaganda, and foreign manipulation are routine, they find fertile ground. The silence of African leaders and the AU could be influenced by these dynamics, fearing backlash from Western donors or regional allies. Traore's fight is bigger than Burkina Faso. His nationalization of gold, expulsion of French troops, and leadership of the AES signal a rejection of neo-colonial systems like ECOWAS and the CFA France. The Djibo attack tests this vision, but also highlights the urgent need for African unity. South Africa's EFF called the Sahel's crisis an imperialist tactic, and thousands rallied in Ouagadougou, chanting long, Africans see Traore as fighting colonial resource theft and jihadist chaos. But with 2 million displaced and 60% of Burkina Faso under jihadist control, his challenges are steep. The AU and African leaders' silence risks undermining this movement for self-determination and security. The silence of the AU and African presidents as Burkina Faso faces Al-Qaeda's deadly Djibo attack on May 12, 2025 exposes Africa's division. Is the AU too dependent on Western donors? Are leaders too afraid of Traore's influence or Western backlash? His fight for Burkina Faso's sovereignty and security is a call to all Africans. Who protects Africans and their future? The Djibo attack, without a unified African response, suggests a broader plot to silence defiance and exploit chaos. It is time for Africa to speak up. Share your thoughts. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Gushabi Jr.